Are we talking fish?
We are.
Live?
I think we're talking pregame.
We're pre-gaming.
Oh, man.
He started late.
What are you guys starting with? A Modelo.
Good old hazy river.
Marker 48 Hazy River. That's one flavor that's not mine, but the Red Right Return.
Oh,
Can't go
man.
wrong. Guys,
We'll send you home.
let's cheers to another Mad Skills pregame show right here at Fish Talk Live. I'd say one of our biggest shows we've ever had tonight was one of the best outcomes possible in the community.
Maybe a long one.
Oh, man. Incredible. So, oh,
that
Who's somebody?
I bet you it's me.
How about now? Mic's on. Mic check?
Yeah.
All right. Well, somebody doesn't have their mic on.
Mine's on.
I know it's not me.
Literally don't have yours on.
No,
Don't have one on.
I've got mine on. Good? Hold on, we're having mic issues.
We're getting horrible looks from them.
Oh, John?
John.
My mic is on.
All three mics are on.
All three mics are on. But the lag today
You guys
is severe.
Let us know if you can hear us. Because she can't hear us in here.
What's that? You can't hear me. Okay.
How about this? What if I talk a little bit closer over here?
Just give him a hug.
All right.
There we go.
There, that's good enough.
All right. All right, so we're pre-game. We're getting started with the show here in a minute.
Giving you all a chance to get checked in, say hi, hello.
Yep.
Make sure
Lots
you
of
guys
people on tonight.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yep.
Lots of
good
people.
thing.
Gotta like, follow, share this thing with everybody you know.
that's it. Yeah, please share. Please share. We got some local heroes on the show today, so we want to get some recognition and for efforts. So share away, guys. This is a truly magical day today. Like I said, one of the best possible outcomes with one of the worst situations, to any parent. So
If you haven't heard what's going on, you'll find out here in just a few minutes.
that's right. So again, this is the Mad Skills pregame show. Getting ready to start with the show. And Bri, I'd say, are you ready?
You ready?
Yeah, let's get started.
Let's fire it up.
My name is Captain Gary Bartell Jr., and I own Ozello Keys Marina and Fish Talk Live. We do everything from sling shrimp, fishing charters, airboat tours. We became mostly a hub for the small town of Ozello. It's became a big family, is what Ozello Keys Marina is. It's a community. September 2024, we had Hurricane Helene put 5.5 feet of water inside of our building the night that the storm was supposed to hit. Something that we came up with was setting up a pump system inside of our store, but we knew we were going to lose power. So this power station from Abyss set this up as high as possible, plug it into a 110, let it stay charged, plug our pump system into this on a float switch. So when the power does cut out, this is going to last for a long time with the pumps that we had, and it got the job done. We're very optimistic, and we like to come back stronger than what we left with. So because of our community, because of our friends, our team, our partners, we created something really special, and today is the first day that we got to open the doors to everybody. This is one of our biggest successes, going through the storm, is having power when you don't have power. But behind every great product is a great person and a great team. And that is what we learned, is that when you're partnering with someone, you're partnering with a partner. And Abyss Batteries has been that since day one. The team at Abyss Batteries will bend over backwards and do whatever is needed to make sure that you are successful in life, successful with our product, successful in business. And that is the reason why we are partners with Abyss Batteries. Everything that helped us get us through Hurricane Helene, everything that gets us through the fishing tournaments, has got us many trophies. You can get it right here at OKM. So stop by, check it out for yourself. We have guides here that run them religiously. They are going to give you the testimony that you want. So if you want the ultimate fishing experience where you don't have to worry about your batteries dying like that, if you want ease of mind if your power goes out but you don't want the noisy generator, come to OKM, we'll get you taken care of. Welcome to
Fish Talk Live.
presented by some of the best sponsors on earth, and they all came in clutch last night, Billy.
100%.
Whew, I tell you what, man. Guys, we would like to thank, again, we'd like to thank all the sponsors, all of you watching. We've got one of our biggest shows to date, and we're talking about tarpon fishing with Captain Junior Santos.
Yes.
Oh, man, I'm excited about that.
It's coming.
Tarpon fishing is one of your favorite, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Unwavering. No.
They're a lot of fun to snag, I tell you. I mean, all right, so we got a big show ahead of us, so we're gonna try to squeeze this in an hour, but we're gonna hop right to the Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week because we wanna see what you have caught this week. Let's see what we got.
Oh, a monster.
Oh man, that's
that must have been Jacob.
that's Jacob's PB right there. Dale's PB. No. Oh man, that's a saltwater aquarium fish there. Nice redfish. Captain Gene Miller.
Absolutely. Where'd the spots go?
Everyone says he can't fish.
Is it a spotless red?
It wasn't Captain Gene, it was his client that knew how to fish.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Captain Gene's client. Yeah. What's his name, Gene?
So I think that's just a
David?
fish at that point, isn't it?
Do you
Look
know why
at
they
the
don't
blue
call
on
him
that
goldfish?
tail, though.
Because the name was already taken.
There's a good one.
I tell you what, this has been some of the best red fishing that I remember in
It's been a stunning
History.
stunning month.
Looks like Jacob's boat.
Ken
I believe so.
Jacoby. Here's
Here.
Captain Jacob himself.
Yeah. He's here this evening.
I would have done a lot.
We'll get him out here.
Fishing this week, but I spun him up.
Oh,
We're going nowhere fast.
Yes, exactly.
there you
Nice
go.
mess of fish on the cleaning station.
Yeah.
Sent home with some dinners.
That was Justin Maddox family from Maddox Baits.
Grammy.
Oh, man.
Grammy made fish talk. Nice catch.
What?
And it's sent in the one that Gary kissed.
Kiss the Irish, man.
That's
Ooh,
a stud
James
snook.
with a nice snook.
Why do you guys always black out the backgrounds?
I know. It's like they fish it out here.
Yeah. That's a good
Jessica.
photo.
I tell you what, it's crazy how redfish can get hooked like that.
Yeah. What
Is
is
that
that?
a chatterbait?
Looks like a
It looks like it.
redfish.
Yeah.
Good catch.
She's on here. Jessica, is that a chatterbait? What kind of bait you using for that redfish?
Nice snug.
That's a weird looking tarpon.
I know it.
There he is. Man, nice snook, yeah.
That was today.
Billy, you gonna sell that
That
spot?
was yesterday.
You gonna sell that spot or what?
Yes.
Captain Justin Wilkerson. A big shout out to Justin and Jacob for hopping on the boat with me in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Right.
Larry, Team Wentz Auto. I think they got 5th place, right? Dude, they're killing it, man. They're staying consistent. 8th place. Hey, it's a check. Yeah, it's a check.
Great.
Florida Redfish Series, good turnout for that job. 80-something boats. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of mine from the day I spun my hook.
You say 80 something boots?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I saw the 82 boats. Or Jacksonville's always a big turnout. Nice trout. Yeah. You said you were having a hard time finding anything under.
Was having a hard time finding the keepers. We found probably 5 overs, and the rest were keepers. We had a good day.
Good deal.
It's always a rough day when you have to weed through the over slots to find something worth keeping.
I know.
Good trout bite.
That day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, trout. I mean, trout's been fired all over Fish Creek, Mason Creek, mouth of the St. Martins. Yeah, it's all been good.
Oh, there's the table. Look at that.
Good spread.
Yeah. It was for a few of our
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 16. Mario, did you count? Ramon.
Out there on the Gino.
Oh, yeah.
That's your old boat,
See
Gene.
them launching that thing.
Oh, they love it, man.
For advertising for me.
Yeah.
Sticks.
Very nice.
That's Teddy's biggest grouper right there.
That's a funny looking drip. Some more reds. That looks like, yeah, that's a Teddy catch. Right there.
Yeah. That's a Teddy catch.
Yeah.
Say, hey, let me hold
Did
that
y'all
snook
see
for a
those
second.
cookies
I was
that he
gonna
made?
say the same thing. I just saw him on a cookie. Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's gonna start wearing socks with this picture on it.
Captain Coach himself.
The nurse. Nurse at night, fisherman during the day. PE coach throughout. Captain Teddy Shoop, everybody.
The Shoop.
Shoopay.
Well, he's in another area.
Very nice.
Still the show.
Yeah, he's been hitting some fish hard.
He's been fishing a lot.
Lot.
Yeah.
Justin.
Even the fish need some love sometimes.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good
So
photos this week.
going back to Jessica's redfish, she said she uses a Q8 super bait bullet, and James Snook was 35 inches.
Q8 super bait.
That's a good bait. The bullet's an awesome bait.
Q8 super bait.
The bullet.
Q8 super bait bullet.
No different. Just moved it 1 inch.
We'll explain
usually
this
what
one day,
happens,
Billy.
right, Billy?
We'll sit down and write it out for you. All right. Again, that was the Extreme Decalz catch of the week, and some good catches this week. Billy, real quick, what's going on in the airboat? What'd you see today now that we had some decent winds out there? Any fish movement going on? Or
A lot of, everything on the reef was mighty shallow today, as if anybody went out there today, there was not a whole lot of water. Playing inside of our river systems, fish were everywhere. A lot of redfish, saw a handful of snook, playing off the St. Martins and some of the deeper pockets, same thing for gray mare. Not seeing a whole lot of trout, I know they're kind of hiding, playing in some of the deeper spots, but fish were definitely on the move. Waters were warming up. Starting to find sea turtles and stingrays and all that, but not today. It cooled off a bit.
nice. Well,
I'm ready for spring to spring.
yeah, I am too. But then we get to summer and we're like, oh man, it's too hot.
Yeah.
We want some cooler weather. But
Yeah.
alrighty, guys. So let's hit a commercial break, and when we come back, I want to talk to some local heroes on how they risk their equipment, sacrifice their time, and got the mission done.
That's it.
So let's go commercial break. When we come back, we're going to the Ayinde Matthews State Farm Casting Couch.
What's going to be impressive, I think, is the hole shot. Like when we get that hole shot stuff dialed in, and get the trim command curve all the way up to 100, and we just romp down this thing. Like everybody's going to have a holy shit moment. It's going to be pretty awesome. I've experienced it. It's pretty cool, man.
Ready? Alrighty, we are back. So we had that Seakeeper commercial come on, Jacob. I want you to tell your experience before we get to these guys, how effective that Seakeeper was in those rough conditions last night trying to get out to Long Point.
So idling, I was scared for my life. I told Gary to get on because the boat was going, ooh. As soon as he got on plane, it was straight as an arrow, no problem.
That's it. I mean, that
It
thing.
was unbelievable.
Everyone always thinks a Seakeeper is those big gyro systems, but I mean, you saw it last night for a bay boat.
And you didn't have to work any tabs at night, nothing. Just
Nothing.
go.
Focus on where we're going, what we're looking for, and now let's talk a little bit about that. We got involved, what I call you, about 9:30, 10 o'clock last night. Justin Wilkerson, we met up, or you actually met me here. We got the boat ready. Based off of what we were hearing from the Coast Guard FWC, we Captain Justin Diamond, who was running back and forth from Cedar Key, and dude, oh my God, when we met him at the Yankeetown ramp, Billy, he looked defeated, like he looked beat up. I mean, that's what is that from Yankeetown to Cedar Key? Is 18 miles, 19?
It's a stretch.
Yeah, in a aluminum skiff at it. But he lit up the whole place like a parking lot. So
He did. We're pulling down Yankeetown Road. I'm like, what is that?
It's a spaceship.
Justin Diamond.
So,
Lights on.
so let's go from start to finish, Jacob. So we got to the ramp. We heard from Justin. We heard that there was a deep water effort because of the currents, the winds, and how they had this paddleboard kind of going. We had a wind coming from the northwest, and so then we had an outgoing tide while these girls disappeared. So we were kind of thinking more of a south direction based off those two factors.
Don't mind me.
So
Inch matters.
that's it. That's what she said. So from there, that's where we decided to bring the big boat, hit Long Point. We hit all those barrier islands, Barge Canal, got the absolute tar beat out of us. There's boats all over the place.
Especially at Long Point.
Yeah.
That was a ways out.
I didn't realize how long it was. It's a long point. It's a long point. Now, it was about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning where you pointed out for the first time, you're looking at that phone and you're like, this is an inflatable, what do you call it, paddleboard. Mm-hmm. That changed the game. You know, I got on the phone with Billy, 5:30. What's wrong, Brianna?
Do you want to backstory of what you were doing while you were there?
What are you talking about?
What was the effort for? Nobody knows.
Yeah, we got.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I feel like the world knows about it.
I think the
Okay,
world knows
all right.
about it too.
Yeah, all right.
Except for Brianna.
We're going to backtrack a little bit. My mommy actually texted me.
She was up.
She never, she never went to sleep. She, being a parent, she saw the story of 2 missing 16-year-old girls that left from Cedar Key, went out to that little sandbar island, Odie, yep. And then while they were coming back, someone from shore noticed them, having issues. They took pictures, which they did everything right. They got those people got a lot of criticism. Yeah, there's the photo there. But you got to think, when you're from shore, there's nothing you can really do on that. So they got the last scene, and this photo actually helped save these girls' lives. It did save these girls' lives. One thing I want to point out from this was supposed to be outgoing tide. You see the wind direction, right?
It's coming out of the west.
Where's the brake on that paddleboard? It's going with the wind, not the tide. So when Jacob pointed out that this was an inflatable style, that's where we realized the tide has nothing to do.
It's the wind.
It's the wind. All the way, it's like a balloon. The balloon's going to go with the wind. Same exact thing. But you could see the brake, because it was hard to tell because of how the girls are positioned in this. It was hard to tell which way it was going. But then you could see the brake and the tip of it. And that's where we came up with the decision to ditch the T-craft, come back with the airboat, follow the wind direction, not that current wind math that the Coast Guard worked out. And then these 3 guys right here had the same exact thought process. And Jake.
You searched right where you said you'd find it.
I mean, after talking to these guys, they were literally thinking everything the exact same.
You know what's crazy is that's the second rescue you were part of where he looked at the map and he was like, it's going to be right here. Mike Taylor,
yeah. That one, they were not allowing civilians to launch at this certain launch point. And we were really young, but I stayed up all night on that one. And Billy and I, we routed it out. And that was the guy, that was a long time ago, where he was trolling. And he was trolling by himself. And he turned around to check a reel, and he tripped on his own feet. And he went overboard, and the boat kept going.
That's serious.
Yeah. So, but Billy and I forced that map that we stayed up all night creating. We forced it to the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard went straight to Bird Key and picked them up. So,
awesome.
But see, listen to rednecks, all right? We know what we're talking about. Just kidding. Hey, law enforcement was great. FWC was amazing. But all right. So that being said, I would like to introduce Will Pauling, Alex Jeffries, and Russell Kuhn, the heroes. The men, the myth, the legends, guys. Everyone that was a part of this search effort, all heroes. You guys did the math like us. You put yourself in that position. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves and tell us your start to finish story. We want to hear it right now.
Well, I'm Will Pauling, and I'm supposed to go out with Russell Poon on the very end here this morning, do a little snook fishing. And obviously we changed some plans this morning when Alex reached out to me and talked about, going up north with his jet drive. And we did that. Ventured out on out and ran north up to about
everything besides
area, let's say.
11 prong, yep.
11 prong, and it didn't take very long. It was about half hour, 45 minutes, and found these girls sitting on a board up on the mangroves there, and kind of ran up to them, made sure they were all right.
We're right place, right time is what that was.
Pretty much.
Trying to spot a paddleboard from shore is a lot easier than you think it could be, or a lot harder than you think it should be.
Yes.
Looks like a small little white speck sitting out there and a bunch of oyster bars.
They were still on the board itself.
Yeah, they were up in the mangroves, sitting pretty much on the board.
They had no choice because of the oysters all around them. It was
Thankfully, they stayed on it.
It was the only way. It was it's amazing how intelligent they were to stay on the board, stay with the board the whole time.
Is there a lot of oyster bars up that way? I've never been out there, especially on an inflatable paddleboard against oyster bars. I mean,
I'm surprised it lasted that long.
It stayed
honestly.
inflated the whole time. It never went flat. It's amazing how that works.
It was honestly a nice it was a high-end inflatable. I'd like to get the brand of it, actually.
Keep that on the boat if you got to inflate it. Then.
I know it was nice enough that they were like, you guys are bringing our paddleboard too, right?
We could have got...
I wouldn't want to ride the paddleboard.
Yeah.
No, not 14 and a half miles. Four and a half foot waves. We should have gotten that paddleboard brand name. I will say that.
Yeah.
But it was different.
Yeah, we definitely ventured out this morning. Kind of, we changed our whole fishing aspect of the morning, and kind of went for more of a search and rescue, I guess you could say, at that point. And like I said, it didn't take long. We reached them. They were pretty cut up. Their feet, their hands, pretty cold, very cold, I could say, because I was the first one to start talking to them. They really didn't want to talk.
Luckily, we had blankets and towels with us.
Yeah, we brought that out there, tried warming them up, give them, some water to hydrate up.
I think it was like 40 degrees out there.
last night.
Oh, yeah.
Plus a wind.
Plus
First thing
25
this morning,
miles.
but my phone said it was about 40 degrees, and I couldn't imagine
Plus-
out there on the very tip of an island,
plus
with that
the wind.
and water.
Yeah, they were probably really happy when the sun came up this morning because they were in the sun when we saw them. If in fact it wasn't for the sun, we wouldn't have seen the paddleboard at all.
No.
Okay.
No, they were, they were there for what we probably learned maybe at least 12 hours. Or
Well, from
about 12 hours.
From dusk till dawn.
Yeah, dusk till dawn
They were-
overnight. 40 degrees, no clothes, no blankets, no food, water.
And yeah, from what I did, hear from Coast Guard since last time we talked, that they showed up to that point about sundown last night, and we didn't find them till about 8:30 the next morning. So they sat there for
This morning.
We got very
this
lucky
morning.
how it worked. We launched the boat at 8 o'clock, and by 8:30 we had somehow already reached. How that just happens magically, or
When I
the
got
man
with
upstairs.
when I got with these two this morning, they had it. It was completely set in their heads exactly where we were going. And I'm from Claremont, so I had no idea where we were going. So we got in the boat and came out and made a right and headed that direction. And within, like I said, 30 minutes, like we said, 30 minutes, we were on them right away. It was like we went directly to them with no stops in the middle.
And Alex and I kind of talked about it this morning about, kind of screw snook fishing. Let's go out here and see what we can find. He's got a jet drive. I normally run a 24-foot bay boat, and got on his boat, kind of started heading that way, and it is obviously the right call to make.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, big
For
time.
sure.
You guys got the ultimate catch today. Ultimate catch.
And that brings up another thing. Take all the
Protective gear that you can with you, life jackets.
Yep.
Freaking a whistle probably could have helped you guys find them a little bit easier. Or at night, a whistle travels a long ways.
Talking to the dad, he said he went from a thinking that it was just a short couple 100 feet trip to a sandbar to turning into one of the worst nights of his entire life, or the
Absolutely.
worst night of his entire life.
Between the winds and the tides and the
I don't
current,
know
just
about these guys.
rip
I
you.
hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. That was
15 miles, a lot more than a short little quick.
Yeah,
across the
yeah.
bay.
Yeah.
Especially on a paddleboard.
I mean, but you know what though? Winds, currents, it's just all stuff taking perspective. But fortunately, it's stuff, especially as parents, it's stuff we have to live and learn. I mean, anything could happen. There's only so much you can really think about. You look at it, a couple 100 feet to get to that sandbar. Yeah, you guys are fine, have fun. There's I don't know. It's live and learn and
On the water, anything can happen.
It's a
luckily-
different world, I'll
Yeah.
tell you. I think most of you guys' kids are all young. I mean, I got one fixing to go to college in August, and she's going to be all by herself.
That's another thing. All three of us are fathers, so I got a daughter, a couple sons, but
Got 4 things running around my house.
we'd understand. We'd understand if they were out there. We'd want the
Sure.
call that these girls had. And
Yep. I think that is the very first thing Gary said to me. He said, now if those were my kids, I'd want everyone there in an instant.
yeah,
So there we went.
I mean, 4
exactly.
kids. I seen they were still missing this morning. Like I said, I got 4 kids. I seen they were still missing. I called off work, canceled it, went out, and somehow 8:30 in the morning, what you expect for a long 8-hour, 10-hour day of maybe searching, we did in half an hour, which is just.
We still did it with a really nonchalant, like, let's go this way, let's go that way. You guys are talking back and forth, which way to go. And then clearly these guys know the ins and outs of that area very well, and I was really just along for a ride. So I was just like, okay, all right.
So my wife this morning, Turtle Bay, Turtle Bay, Turtle Bay. She's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I was like, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
So I do have
the South End.
I do have a good comment from Emily Bird. She says, hello, family member of one of the girls. We appreciate everything you and the whole of Cedar Key has done to bring them home safely. We are forever in your debt.
You know what? It's like what Jacob was saying earlier is one of our kids go missing, we expect the whole world to get involved.
Yep.
This was truly a lot larger than Cedar Key. This was a huge community effort throughout Florida, and so it's yeah. I mean, it's what we should do as humans.
Yeah.
There should be no rewards for this stuff. There should be no trophies. There should be no interviews. It's what we should just do.
Without hesitation.
Without hesitation. Yeah.
Most
I
people
had-
thought like that.
I had no idea what I was getting into until 7 o'clock this morning. Right? So, and when Will said, this is what we're going to do, I'm like, okay, let's go wherever you want to go. And no idea that it was going to turn into the adventure that the day has brought us. And the people, the appreciation, the interviews and stuff like that have been crazy all day long.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
really, Gary helped out. I mean, I ran out there
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to wave them down.
Oh, yeah. Let's not forget Gary.
This is-
Like, oh,
this
we
is
like
actually a
Dr.
funny.
Fisherman over
This is
here.
a funny story.
He thought it was a whole side mission.
I mean,
But I can also tell you, once he seen that paddleboard and I gave him a thumbs up, he
Right.
flipped out and started crying. Like it was.
Yeah.
Jumped
I
off
got
the
emotional. I'm not afraid to admit it.
It was
I got
awesome,
emotional.
though.
I
Like,
mean,
Yeah.
after getting bait and things like that this morning, we run into people that had been out all night long searching. And then there's just us 3 that just decided to put the boat in the water at that time of day, and we went right to them. It was crazy on how that all worked out because we could see, because at the gas station at the end of the dock, all the other people that we saw, you could see the stress and the desire in their face to like we want to go find these kids, but we did not find them.
Hopefully be able to end this search.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's
Gary,
like-
you brought Brody with you, right, too?
Yeah.
You had a hard time leaving the house.
He knew that there was people missing and he wanted to help. I mean, the kid's not more than 8 years old.
well, they both are out there running around in tennis shoes in cold water.
Yeah. He gave me a pretty hard time last night leaving without him. Not leaving without him.
Right.
He was dead set on going. Last night's conditions was not safe. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting him on that boat.
I couldn't even get out of the tower.
Yeah. So when I saw the winds going down, when I saw, we're switching boats, we're going to stay inland, not offshore. Came back to Ozello, switched out boats, went straight to the house. Woke Brody up about 5 a.m. And I'm not joking. This kid usually, you have to peel him out of bed. Like there's no just, hey, Brody, get up, let's get ready. This, hey, say, buddy, hey, you know, you want to go now? We're going to take the airboat. 30 seconds flat, he was ready. And he got snacks.
With shoes on.
Yeah, he was ready. He ended up giving his snacks to the girls. And super,
I did
super.
See that. They're eating a big Newton bar.
Yeah, super, very proud of that
That's
kid.
funny 'cause-
You never gives me any of this.
No.
He was breaking it up for him, giving him bite-sized pieces.
Yeah.
All their generosity. There was a whole lot of care in Gary's eyes.
So real quick, there was only a handful of people that launched at that Yankeetown ramp for doing this search, right?
Yep.
I ended up leaving right behind these guys. Now, when I saw them going out, I was kind of thinking fishing. So when Brody and I were playing was to hit all these barrier islands, and we were going to run all the way to Cedar Key, at least walk Assassa, work the barrier islands, come back, and then work inside the bays. And so we're weaving all these islands. And I really don't know where I'm going. I mean, I'm just going off a map. I don't fish there often. And I see this boat set up on the west side of this one island, pretty decent way away, but there's, huge rock boulders everywhere. It's real shallow. And my first thought is, all right, these guys are fishing. I don't want to disturb them. Obviously, if they see something, I don't need to check that one side. They're facing it. So I was getting ready to go behind. And then I see somebody on the island waving us down. And I'm like, oh my God, now I'm gonna have to waste time to go help these stuck idiots out, thinking that they got stuck on a bar. That was what I was literally thinking in my head. Now, I didn't know who they were. This was from a distance. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And the picture or video, something I seen, I was like, oh, that boat's stuck. I'm like,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's what I was going through my head. I'm like, oh, all right, I'm out here, might as well help, cruising towards them, and then got closer, and then I could see the structure behind them, the paddleboard behind them, and I did this, and you saw in my face like what that meant, and then he did this, and it was the coolest experience. That was, and those girls had an amazing attitude.
That's what I
They
was
did.
saying.
Like
man.
I couldn't believe. When I found them at first, they were quiet. They wouldn't talk to me, but they were huddled together, shivering. And I can't blame them. But as soon as I seen them, I started calling FWC, and that's when I seen you, and I ran out there trying to wave you down. I thought you were FWC.
Yeah. Thought you were Coast Guard or something.
Yeah,
I mean, we could have gotten
airboat
them.
coming through that.
We could have gotten them to the jet drive, but your boat made it a little bit shorter of a walk.
Yeah. Hey, I got stuck manning the boat. And saw you come around the corner, and then everyone's waving at you. And then when you caught wind of what was going on, you clearly turned the boat and then turned up the throttle to get your ass over there to meet everybody at the shore.
It was special. I mean, I told Brody, I was like, hey, stay in the boat. Let me see exactly what's going on. I got it close enough without any fear of getting stuck anywhere, and hop in. Not even thinking. Had sneakers, socks on, just hop straight in. Next thing I know, I hear splash, 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 splash. He's right there with me. He's like, you left me on the boat. I was supposed to be a part of this.
I have video of him trailing right.
Oh, do you? Oh man, I gotta get that.
I seen your video.
It was like he was part of the rescue team. He wanted to go.
That's it, man.
Exactly what was going on.
But guys, I really, what you did was extraordinary. What everyone did. That's the whole thing. Everyone. Justin Diamond, like I gotta imagine he's got some broken welds that he's gotta take a look at.
I feel bad for those girls because I know they had to see Justin's boat
Yeah.
back and forth.
They said that the helicopter, the light.
The spotlight was like out of reach three times.
Three
on
times.
them.
Yeah.
And they were stuck on that paddleboard with
And they couldn't get off it.
But they did what was right, and if anyone takes anything from this, and I hope these girls write a story about this. I hope that they tell their story. If anyone takes anything from this, they stayed with that float.
I cannot wait to hear their story.
Yeah. Yeah. No, seriously.
That boat is so much larger than you as an individual.
Yep.
You could see it from a further distance versus a single person.
That's all we saw. All we saw from shore pulling away was float.
Yeah.
Somehow seen the white, and I was like, is that a
We started pulling up on it, and all of a sudden we seen a couple arms just waving.
Yeah, as soon as I said, "Is that a paddleboard?" I turned the boat straight towards them, and they started flailing like crazy. They didn't stand up. They couldn't do nothing.
Was it as it went? Is that a paddleboard? Was that a paddleboard? I don't know. Let's go look. And then we pointed the boat right towards the girls, and that's when they started leaving.
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, we were going to check it out anyway.
Yeah, we were on our way no matter what.
Yep. I was like, at night, every single, and there was a lot of wave crashing, but every single wave crash, you know, Justin Wilkerson was like, guys, what's that? Just a wave. And then Jacob, we're over there. Just wave crash. And then, palm from buoys. Oh my God, the buoys.
I couldn't imagine searching at night. I couldn't imagine searching at night for that.
And honestly, y'all have been, spent a lot more time out there.
10, 12 hours running out overnight.
And we just kind of went out.
Worst conditions.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of the real heroes
took
that
it
went out.
All right. I mean, you guys worked your tails off for it. It's like you guys played the game and we just hit the home run.
Well, but it's like one of those things. Like last night, I could see. I actually, thinking back on it, I really like the Coast Guard's thought process on it. I like the deep water, mission first. It makes sense because I hate to say it, but those girls wouldn't have survived in the deep water. What do we talk about? Our Fish Talk Live friends over here. What do we talk about? The fish seek those oyster bars and rocks for warmth. Mm-hmm. Those girls ended up on rocks. That rock is going to hold heat. So
maybe they had the mentality that the girls would not stay with the raft.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, originally
who would have thought that anyways? I mean, that was extremely great on their part. That saved their lives, I think.
It did. 100%. Absolutely, it did. But
you know what could have came in useful?
Some sort of infrared vision while you guys are out there at the pitch dark.
So I did hear that you were using flare, but from what I understood from FWC today is the flare is like if you paint a giant fence, you're painting one itty bitty streak in between, and that's all they can see is that like out of a scope. That's what I kind of heard today.
From 1,000 feet or so, if that.
To hunt like pigs and stuff.
I think the same thing. You're looking
exactly.
at a small scope.
You could be picking up pigs, gator. I mean, from how you are 500 feet.
And the
block of red don't look like much.
The Coast Guard may not be able to get close enough to those islands. And
definitely not. No, they couldn't even launch at the Yankeetown ramp.
Yeah,
they had to pack up and go to Crystal River to launch.
Yeah, they don't even know that they're on the island.
Yeah.
And so
like I said, they were just a little speck, a little white speck we happened to see from 100 yards away.
To be very honest, last night, where the girls ended up last night, it would have taken a 1 in a million chance to find them with the waves, the wind, the current, the tides.
It was tough to even just go straight.
You had to been in the exact perfect spot to see them. That was more of a hopefully it brought security to them. I'm sure they could hear all that stuff. I'm sure they could see Justin's lights from 25 miles away.
I'm kind of impressed. Teenagers without a phone.
Yeah,
that's what Billy said too. Or no, that's what you were. Yeah.
I said 16 years old without a cell phone on a paddleboard.
Normally they throw it in a plastic little sandwich baggie or something,
Clearly they had plans to go paddleboarding that day, and they didn't prepare to take their phones at all.
They planned to go for about an hour. Ended up there for about, what are we at, 16? 15? I mean, how long they end up out there?
What was it called in at like 4 p.m. as they were lost?
Yep, called it at
4 and found at 8:30.
Yeah, long damn time.
Longer than I want to be on the water.
I don't want to be on a paddleboard for that long.
I don't want to be on a paddleboard at all. Hell no.
And kind of what Coast Guard explained to me today is that they had their grid and they were supposed to be way past that.
Yeah.
And when we found them, they were supposed to be arriving at that island.
But talking with you, Gary, you thought they had them together, or they had them
way offshore,
down at or even over at Long Point.
Yeah, well, they actually
Long Point to Barge Canal.
When we were at Long Point, they were what would you say, 5 to 10 miles west of us, searching hard too.
Oh yeah.
The 2 helicopters, the plane, and then that 1 Coast Guard boat.
You are the only other boat we happen to see out there. Yeah, this morning.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, I'm pretty sure we're the only ones that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
For some reason, just that wild hair up your bum.
That's it.
That's.
Yeah.
Also, what Coast Guard explained to me is that they don't have a bunch of information on how these inflatable paddleboards travel through the water. So they're used to these small areas. where people
Exactly.
walk.
Yes.
And then when that thing carried 14 miles, they had no idea how to track that.
So Billy's the king of finding balloons on airboats. If you go open up any of those hatches, there's deflated balloons everywhere. He finds the craziest balloons. So he was the first phone call after Jacob pointed out that it was inflatable. He was my first phone call, and I said, Billy, get on Windy. We live by that Windy app, and they're not a paid sponsor. I've never talked to them in our life, but we've tracked hurricanes with that app. Billy lives off that app. I mean,
is that the Windy Dot app?
Yeah.
So because I was on the boat, I wasn't on the island. So on the bottom of that paddleboard was there a rudder?
There was, yeah.
To help direct them.
There's three of them, I think, on that one.
Yeah. So if you think about like a sailboat.
So I was just curious if it's like they were just being completely blown around by the wind.
I know. If you go back and look at Windy's, which you can't go back that far now, but if you looked at Windy's exact trail, Billy and I were on the phone this morning, and we went to the last place they were seen, and then the windy wind direction. We didn't account for any current movement on that. Any calculations with that? We went directly off of wind, and it was exact. It was a couple islands off, but it was pretty close. It was close, yeah. So, but that's the biggest difference is the inflatable thing. And that's some of the stuff I think would have helped last night if they really emphasized on. But like you said, they didn't have any history on it, but now they do.
I don't remember if you said that because if we wouldn't have waved you down, you were going to go around the east side of that island. And then if you would have went around the east side of the island, what was your plan? Obviously, if you didn't see them, because you wouldn't.
I was snaking around all of them. So I was hitting the face of all of them coming up to you guys. Because just picture in my head, if they drifted there, you're gonna drift, on the face of these islands. But then I was snaking around doing this right here.
Most likely came back to where they were.
Yeah. So my next move from you guys is pretty much would have went to the face of that and then snaked back around and then did that.
But you know what? Even if you had a snake around the back way, I'm not really sure if you would have seen them or not because they were laying flat. And
with that low tide.
Yeah,
low tide.
Maybe with that low tide, we were so much lower in the water than you.
Yeah.
And then it was literally Alex saying, "Is that a raft up there?"
Yep. Well, yeah, my direction was where you guys were parked, and I was going to snake around like that and then go.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
But no, it's and that's the thing too. We point that out to customers all the time with dolphin. There could be dolphin on any side of these islands out here. It's the right place, right time. I mean, that's what it takes. You just got to get out there and do it. Now, the last thing I can say about these search and rescue efforts, especially like nights like last night, if you are not 100% confident, 100% sure that you have the right equipment, the right boat, the right lights, people on your boat with you, do not put yourself in that situation because you're going to slow down the search and potentially become the next search person.
We had a few people out in our neck of the woods that said that. You know, they're like, well, we don't have the stuff to handle this.
Yep.
Just like you, right? You left the boat ramp right behind us. First thing you did was see this guy sitting over there.
Yeah, with that little dinghy. Yeah.
We're like, we're not going to be two boats stuck in the mud,
Yeah.
And then we had already checked on him just before you.
Yeah, no, I was like, no, good luck.
Guys, incredible story. If somebody wants to book a charter with you guys, because I do want to do this, I want to learn that area more, I want to fish that area more, how do they find your guys' contact? So, because you're the guide, you guys.
I mow some lawns. I mow mean lawns.
All right, there we go.
I'm really the charter captain. I run Gucci charters out of Yankeetown, and I mostly do inshore, near shore. Definitely like my cobia season coming up.
Yeah, man.
They'll use the jet drive on occasion, so if you want to get up there,
hell yeah, absolutely.
You can go out on the 24-foot bay boat, maybe the little jet drive, have a heyday.
Let's do it.
But all over social media and Google and stuff. So.
When Will does not have a charter, I typically get a phone call. Let's go fishing tomorrow.
Do a little buddy trip. Do a little scout.
Yeah, I got some new spots I want to try. You want to go? And I'm like, absolutely, let's go.
That's awesome. Love it, guys.
Which today was awesome. I'm so glad I
Found
said.
some new spots today.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know which one to call it, but
Yeah. Now that's all said and done, I'm really glad I said yes. I'll be there in the morning.
That's
Especially when I
It
called
was-
about what 6:37.
Well, yeah,
we're not really fishing
I very
today.
rarely
Yeah.
get
No.
more than a 12-hour notice. It's like, going to fish tomorrow? Yep. Going to fish
That'll
tomorrow?
be the new
Yep.
lucky fishing spot now. Watch it.
hey,
Yeah, right.
Well,
bad
guys,
trout spot on occasion.
yeah. Guys, with what could have been a tragedy, you saved 2 lives. You're a part of something absolutely incredible, and we made some new friendships. So cheers, guys.
Yes, sir.
I cannot wait to hear
Cheers.
those girls' stories.
Oh my God.
I
know.
Wait.
Me too.
Well,
Awesome.
it's because of you guys.
God's
They're
saying
going to
that.
have a story.
Yes.
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
That's a great thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an excellent thing. So,
Guys,
Rarity ends that well.
it very is. It very is.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you heard it. I mean, that was it. That was one of the most incredible things, I think our communities overcame. I mean, that was something truly special, and every single person that went out or shared a Facebook post.
Everywhere on Facebook.
The people doing the interviews, the people that were creating awareness on this, everybody was a hero. Truly was.
Everyone that we came across today, everyone was interested. Everybody was concerned. Everybody was very clearly happy with the outcome, and everybody wanted to know what was going on.
Yep.
Everybody did their part.
It's just.
Hey, Will, can I get your charter?
Your information one more time for the crowd.
Yes, sir. That's with Gucci Charters out of Yankeetown, Florida. And I do inshore, nearshore.
You got a telephone number?
352-651-2314.
And a website?
Sorry, what?
A website?
With Gucci Charters or charteryankeetown.com.
Thank you, sir.
It's
Thank
worth
you.
it.
And he's got a new career on the casting couch.
He is pretty good in Marrio.
3 guys, 1 couch. All right, guys. So we're gonna do a real quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we're gonna be topping with Captain Marrio and Captain Junior Santos.
Let's go, Fabian.
Woo! All right, we'll be right back.
I can bring up.
Hi all, my name's Captain Billy with Ozello Airboat Tours. Just got a really cool piece of equipment to introduce to you guys. It's actually a new key switch from CoastKey. It's a really unique setup that they have made. Instead of having your standard key switch to where you actually have a key that's removable, they took it a step further and made a custom pin pad. You have 4 digits to play from. You can pick whatever 4 numbers you want to make your pin. And then it's a start stop from there. And then they also have this really cool lanyard to be able to start and stop for when you're not at the helm. And it's very convenient for that factor. And having this lanyard tied to my belt loop all day, if I happen to eject myself out of the boat, it also acts as a safety lanyard that I have total control straight from this little key fob. So that is a huge plus in our industry for needing a safety lanyard, and this is a great alternative to that. I do get quite a few questions asked about it as far as how the install goes, how is the instructions on it, and I got to say it is mighty simple. Outside of needing the hole saw to cut the proper size hole for the switch itself, they give you a nice plug and play harness. Everything in the instructions is all color coded on where they need to go from your hots, your grounds, your starts, your stops, all that fun stuff. It was a very simple setup. It is a stunning upgrade for a lot of folks with bigger families that have kids running around everywhere. You don't have to worry about somebody taking the key. You just keep the lanyard on your belt buckle at all times, just like a safety lanyard. You can be away from the boat and start and stop it. It's a awesome, awesome product that I highly recommend for your future upgrade.
All right, welcome to the Tackle Table Talk, Nature Coast Financial Advisors Tackle Table Talk. I'm Captain Marrio Castello.
Captain Junior Santos.
Yeah, we're going to be talking tarpon. He's got his fly rod set up over here. Maybe we'll talk a little bit of fly tarpon, maybe a little bit of bait, maybe a little bit of spin. We'll try to cover everything. I don't know why this cookie is up here. I don't know if you've seen this, Bree. Can you zoom in on this cookie? Bree, can you zoom in on this cookie? Teddy came over earlier and handed a couple of these out. I don't know who makes these, but they make these cookies, and they got his face on them.
Cookie, I think it's called.
It's a what?
Eat the darn cookie.
Eat the darn cookie. That's what it's called. Well, I'm gonna have to eat this darn cookie later. So but that was kind of interesting. All right, Junior, tell me about your.
You need to get your hands off of my cookie.
Well, right now this is just this is what I typically use for tarpon. It's
Here, you're giving him a mic. You don't even have to put it in your pocket. There you go. That'll work just fine.
typically you want to use something 11 weight, 12 weight, depending on where you're fishing and what you're going after. You know, most of the tarpon, I basically focus over in Homosassa. You get some pretty big tarpon going through there. So we use 11 weights, 12 weights.
Ounces for like lead or?
It's the size of the rod. That's how they size the rods. Lead. Well, we're not throwing. Yeah, you did. No, but you know, it's for big game fish and stuff like that. You know, you can go out there. Typically May, all the way to July. Typically, I leave there in July. Like July 1st, I'm starting to head north a little bit. You know, kind of follow them out. But
yeah, it's a timing thing for sure. Yeah, they have a season.
Oh yeah,
and it's that way all the way up and down the coast too. So yeah, our time just happens to be between May and July.
Yeah, May you can go anywhere. I mean, everybody knows it's not a big secret. I mean, anymore. I mean, they've wrote books about it. They've done everything about Homosassa. You know, with all those world record chasers and stuff. So I mean, typically people show up in May. You know, into April you can start seeing them, depending on the water temperature and stuff. You know. But anywhere Black Rock and all that area in there, you know, and it's not hard to notice, you know, all the skiffs start showing up.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So it's not a big secret. It's just right place, right time.
Yep. They have their own migration routes every year, and they stick to them. Yeah, I see them every year. I don't normally target them. We catch them by accident a lot of times. We'll be drifting in an area for trout, and then all of a sudden we see a school of tarpon come through, and sure enough, I'll have something set up for it, and we'll throw one, and we'll jump a few.
Oh yeah.
But it's not a species that I would normally typically target, but they're out there. They're always out there, and they follow those same patterns every year.
Oh yeah.
They're like dogs, man. They do the same things all the time.
And they like to eat flies.
Yeah, they do like to eat. Now, tell me about the flies that you use. I know there's different ways to fish for them. There's different patterns you can use. What kind of patterns would you normally throw?
We'll throw bait fish pattern, a bigger bait fish pattern. We'll throw tarpon toads. You know, it kind of looks like a bait fish. And like early in the morning and stuff, you'll throw a darker color, obviously. You know, that dawn patrol type stuff. You know, right before the sun comes up, you'll be throwing black and purples usually. You know. Then when the sun comes up and it's real bright out, I go to chartreuse and orange. And we'll have, sometimes you'll throw 3 or 4 different lines. You know, you throw an intermediate line, depending on the depth of the fish, and see, you know, if you have rollers and stuff like that, you throw a little bit of a floating line.
Right.
Then you have your intermediate line, and it's all depending on the water column where that fish is. You know, sometimes I've noticed, you know, a lot of the pressure, when this pressure shows up, all the boats, they start sounding deeper and stuff. You might have to dredge a little bit, so you want a sinking line. You know?
Right.
So
you can tell when they're happy and when they're uptight. Yeah.
And it doesn't take long. It's usually around 9 o'clock when everybody shows up. You know.
Oh yeah.
Now, do you strictly tarpon fish with fly, or do you artificial bait?
No, I'll do artificial. I don't like bait fishing them myself, and on my trips I don't really offer a bait trip.
I prefer artificial and fly. I really want to focus on fly because they do eat flies, and if you get a good angler that can feed fish, I mean it's pretty intense at sometimes, you know. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with baiting fish either. I mean, if you can throw a mullet out there, or a finger mullet, or even a big mullet, you know, and kind of float it out there, free line it, you know.
The biggest advantage I see in fly fishing, I'm not a fly fisherman by any means. I like doing it every once in a while, but the one thing that I notice is if you guys are throwing bait, or if you guys are throwing artificials with spinning gear, conventional gear, whatever you use, you have one chance to catch that fish as it's swimming by. You have one cast. If you crank it by that fish and he doesn't eat, you can't reel that thing in fast enough to get it in front of it a second time. With that fly, it's a little bit different. You drop it in front of his face, strip it, he doesn't like it, bring it back, strip it, drop it in front of his face again, strip it, he doesn't like it. You can keep on beating him in the head with it until he's just pissed off and he just fucking swallows the damn thing. That's about right. But when you're using casting gear and spinning gear, you only have one or maybe two chances to get them. With a fly, you'll have multiple 6, 7, 8 chances to catch that same fish. Yeah. And that's where I see the advantage of fly anglers over the conventional gear. Yeah,
definitely. But even artificial, I mean, we hook up a lot of artificial. I mean, we'll throw, you know, the big paddle tails, like the no live bait needed stuff, stuff like that. The DOA bait busters.
The bait buster is one of my favorites.
The bait buster is amazing. I mean, you could slow troll a bait buster and definitely get them to eat.
And that's the one thing that I notice when you're using the artificials. Just say you're fishing for trout with an artificial bait. You're working that bait, pop, 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 making it bounce back and forth. That tarpon don't like that. They like it nice and slow and steady, and which is great for a bait buster because all it has is these little tails. Oh yeah. It does this right here, and it looks like a little mullet swimming through the water.
And it's easy. If you get a client on the boat, doesn't typically fish much, and he wants to catch a tarpon,
just crank it in.
And he's doing spin, just cast a bait buster out there and let him slow troll it back in, and guarantee almost 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, he's going to
if he gets it right. That tarpon's going to eat that bait buster.
They don't like it. They don't like it working back and forth. That's for sure. Yeah, they don't like the fast action. They just like that slow roll.
It still boggles my mind that large of a fish eating fly.
Well,
Still boggles my mind.
They're opportunistic.
Monstrous fish eating the smallest thing just touching the surface.
They're
Like you and a cracker.
yeah.
If it's slow moving, I'm eating.
Yeah. French fries, man. You'll eat French fries.
Well, I mean, if we had past crabs here, I bet you it'd be totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, people be throwing crabs under corks and.
And that's the other thing with live. A lot of people live bait for these tarpon. You can do that. You can do it all day long, but the problem is you get all the other stuff. You get the sharks, you get the catfish, and whatever else is out there is going to eat your bait. With the artificials, you don't get the junk. You just get you just get the. And like I said, the advantage with a fly is you can present it to them multiple times. Compared to throwing either a regular artificial or a live bait or even a dead bait.
And a lot of times, I mean, you got to tell people, just work it all the way to the boat.
Yeah.
I mean,
they'll eat it right.
I'm guilty of it too. Yeah. If I think the fish should have ate, I'll pick it up and put it back in front of them. But you really want to work it all the way to the boat. You know, I've had fish eat 3-4 foot from the boat.
Oh yeah.
You know,
it'll scare the hell out of you when it does.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey Junior, what's the proper boat etiquette? So if I've never been tarpon fishing before and I see all these boats out there on the flats, you know, what's the proper etiquette? You know, I'm a brand newbie. I'm not a guide. I'm just going out there trying to get myself my first tarpon. What should I be doing out there? Or not be?
What should I not do out there?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I first started coming to Homosassa, it was pretty intimidating. That was 15 years ago. I started coming up here, and I was, trying to figure it out and everything, and it was pretty intimidating. But because they are, I mean, you get a fleet of 30, 40 skiffs out there sometimes. I mean, and they're all on poling skiffs, and they're doing their thing and stuff. And you need to know when. For one, don't run through a fleet of boats. You know,
You shouldn't do that.
you shouldn't do
It doesn't matter. It
yeah,
doesn't matter if you're
really.
tarpon
But
fishing or
if
not.
you see a guy pulling, I mean, and he's on a line. Say we're pulling a north to south or something like that. You know, you don't want to come and cut that guy off. You know, even I don't know. I think a lot of it depends on the person. I've had guys, you know, come within 100 yards of me, you know, and cut me off, you know, and I mean, it's just one of them things,
Yeah.
you know.
Just don't
But
get
really, you just need to be, you need to be courteous enough to think in your head, you know, if that was me pulling that skiff, what would I be doing, you know? Why I wouldn't want a guy coming in front of me and cutting me off, you know. Just be courteous enough, you know, try to keep your distance. If you see fish and you see a boat turning off to go to those fish and he's obviously closer to those fish, let that guy have those fish. You know, there's plenty of fish.
Right.
There in May and June, there's plenty of tarpon out there. You know, I mean, really, the numbers are there.
That's a line that they follow year in, year out.
And they're going to be there, especially on an outgoing tide, you know. And if you want to be that guy, be there early.
Yeah.
You know? Just be there first.
Yeah.
When you're there first, there's nobody can take that from you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, once you're there, that's yours.
That's a good point.
You know? But if you want to show up at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock when everybody else is out there, you gotta keep in your mind, you know, these guys are out here working. They're out here day in, day out.
They've spent the past couple of hours chasing this school of
and they're
fish.
on this.
Yeah.
You know, they're on this. Just try to be courteous, and not do something to others that you don't want done to you. You know, it's kind of common sense, really. I mean, just use your head and be nice to people, and they'll be nice back. But if you're going to cut them off, I've been cut off several times. I mean, I've been cut off by bay boats and throwing bait, and that's not, you know. They come up because the guys are coming up from everywhere. I mean, they're coming up from Hernando and even further south all the way up here. You know.
Tampa.
Yeah. So, but yeah, as long as you're courteous enough to others, you know, that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's with anything.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to guarantee catch spearfishing, what depth would I be playing in for 'em?
Spearfishing, what?
That's just not a thing. I just checking. You know, I mean, I've seen them in the flats, but I'm not about to go spearfish in the flats. You know, what depth do I find them in? What's a good depth?
Oh my God.
50 feet, Billy.
50 feet.
Not here.
Yeah. Let's try it somewhere else.
My favorite part is we have several FMC options.
Oh man.
Hey, put me on a watch list.
They all know Billy's just joking. He doesn't spear.
No.
Yeah.
All right, we were talking about fishing with bait for these tarpon. It's something that a lot of people do. Typically, what I find with bait fishing, a mullet, a 9-inch or a 10-inch live mullet is a great bait. The only problem is with that mullet is every shark in Citrus County wants to eat that same mullet you have on the end of your line.
Yeah.
And it's bad because a lot of times I like bait fishing for tarpon. I like artificials for tarpon. When I use a bait, if I use mullet, 9, 10-inch mullet, hook them in the nose, drop them back behind the boat in the line that they're going to take. That mullet has to be in perfect condition. Like it can't be missing scales. It can't be ugly and beat up and missing half of a tail. It's got to be a pretty damn
fresh.
it's got to be a fresh, beautiful mullet. And the problem is when the sharks come up, you have ladyfish, you have everything else beating the piss out of this stupid ass mullet. And it gets destroyed. You have to change the baits, and I don't like throwing a cast net. It sucks. So what I do is if I'm specifically going to tarpon fish, I'm going to look for very small crabs. Works really good, either under a float or free line. And what I'm trying to do is I'm making the rig very, very light, like too stupid light. I'm only using 40-pound test. I'm using a 2-aught circle hook, very, very tiny, just in the very corner of the crab shell. I'm casting out and letting it drift naturally. Once it gets too far, crank it back in, throw it back in the strike zone, watch it go by. Are there any other baits other than like mullet and crab that you can use as either a live bait or a cut bait?
You can use white bait.
Yeah.
Any
Again,
whitebait greenbacks,
yeah.
you know.
Going offshore to catch them.
Going offshore and catching them, it's not very easy.
Yeah,
you know?
it's not fun.
But,
But how big of a greenback are you looking for?
Probably about 4 to 6 inches, 5 inch, 6 inch. Yeah, a good greenback. Throw it out there, and they can't resist that.
Oh, yeah.
That's about like a snook.
That's the same.
Throw a greenback in front of a snook, he's gonna eat it every
It's-
time.
It's like candy.
You know?
Yeah, they get stupid when they see them.
Oh yeah, it's almost like crack.
With the with the greenbacks again, a lot of people hook them through the nose, free line them out. I found something a long time ago. I used to fish Tampa Bay a lot, and if I would hook a greenback in the chest, right in the belly, right between the pec fins, there's a very hard spot on their belly that when you hook them through there, the hook does not like to pull out. And the second thing is you can throw it. You can throw it really far. Yeah, really far. And it doesn't kill them because all it is like a flap of skin that's right on their chest. But it's a different way to free line a greenback. If you guys use greenbacks and only hook them through the nose or whatnot to troll them or throw them and free line them, try hooking them in the belly. They swim a little bit differently, but I don't think that affects the way that the fish look at them. They look at them the same way. They'll still eat them, but it stays alive a lot longer on your bait or on your hook. And it's a lot easier to throw a longer distance.
And that's like what you were saying about the leader and the light tackle that you're using. A lot of times, I mean, I'm throwing some bite tippet that's only 30 pound, 20 pound,
right?
Because you want to be able to break that fish off too.
Oh yeah.
You know, a tarpon. Sometimes, most of the time when we're tarpon fishing, you know, sharks sometimes can be bad. Mm-hmm. You know, they could be pretty bad in the area. And when you're fighting a tarpon and he's getting tired, that shark's going to try to eat that tarpon, you know.
And he's probably he's going to be successful. If you don't have gear.
So really, people need to really be thinking about that too. I think you know. I mean, you really want to try to save that fish all you can. So I fish light tackle too. You know, I mean, even when I'm spin fishing, it's still 40 pound maybe at the heaviest. It's 40, you know? I mean...
I think that's where people mess up. They're using this big...
They're using 100-pound leader, 80 pound...
100-pound gear.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
And really, your bite, you lose your bite, too.
Yeah.
With a 100-pound leader, they believe it or not, they see that leader.
You're going to get skunked.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you're going to get skunked because you're using too heavy a tackle.
Keep it light, present a good bait, and you're going to get 8, and you're going to have success.
And that's with anything. That's with redfish. That's with the snook. I mean, you want to use light tackle. I mean, even for my redfish, I'm only using 15-pound leader.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm using 8-pound test on my main line so I can get that long cast. You want to do the same thing with the tarpon. You don't want to use that big, super heavy gear. I'm using 40-pound leader, 30-pound main line, 40-pound main line, and that's more than plenty to catch these tarpon that's out here. Yeah.
Yep. You're going to have fun either way. I mean, they're going to put on a show, you're going to get it done.
And I understood there's an etiquette as far as what size of a fish you can actually pull out for pictures, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to pull. That's actually the law.
Laws, etiquettes, what, you know.
I want to say, well, I don't let anybody pull a fish over 40, 50 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I think it's 40 inches is the law.
Yeah, a little 40-pound fish. I mean, that's not a little fish. You know,
Right.
I typically don't. Everything else we keep in the water. You know, just that's a lot of weight. Those fish are huge. You know, and you want to treat them with care because I mean, really, as big as they are gentle. I mean, they're very.
What's crazy to me about tarpon is you could catch the same tarpon every year for 30, 40 years,
That's
right?
like Court was saying.
Well, especially here. Here we have these resident fish that they're catching up here in Crystal River. Them guys, they're jumping fish all the way until like what, September? Sometimes
almost all year.
October.
Almost all year.
I mean,
long.
and it's resident fish, so you want to treat these fish with respect, and you want to be easy
even the ones that migrate,
care.
they do the same migration pattern.
Because they go all the way
year.
down, and the thing is, they get hammered. You know, when they go to Boca, those fish have seen everything, been fed everything, they've been beat up. And
especially
then they get here.
Especially when they go through Key West, they get real hammered. They do that ball crawl. And,
it's like some of these chicks at the bar.
Yeah.
They've seen it all. Yeah, they've seen it all.
So yeah, you definitely
keep biting.
definitely don't want to hold them out of the water or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I typically just go to Pete's Pier and grab mine.
Yeah, there you go.
You can do that. Feed them a trout skin.
Yeah, they'll come up and grab it. Yeah.
So Junior, somebody wants to book a tarpon trip with you. When should they plan for, and how do they do it?
If you want to book a tarpon trip, typically just I'm on anycreek.com. It's anycreek.com.
Any Creek.
It's Gulf Coast Backcountry Charters, and I'm also on Fishing Booker, stuff like that. Most of my stuff's all word of mouth. I really don't advertise. I don't have a website, but anycreek.com. If you go on there, you can book a trip, or you can call me direct.
Social
Anything you
media.
want. Social media.
What's a good phone number to reach?
Or you can call Marina.
Yeah, because you're an official resident of OKM, right?
Official resident.
Let's welcome Captain Junior Santos.
No longer migratory.
Our very first tarpon specialty guy.
There you go.
How cool is that?
Yeah. You can call the Marina. I'm here. I got plenty of dates. I'm pretty free to do it.
When would you like to start? Mid-April or more towards May?
Anytime. Most guys, I got some clients that book me every year, and they're booked a year in advance, and they come here every year.
I mean, like if somebody wants to go specifically,
if somebody wants to go specifically tarpon fishing, anywhere. By May you're pretty much too late.
By May,
anyway, everything's already. Typically there's nothing left.
In the heat of it.
Now, if you want to fish Home Assassin, I do other trips for tarpon. It's not here. It's up north a little bit, towards the Yankeetown side.
But what someone specifically asked as a question is if they want to go, the best time to go for tarpon.
Best time to go, I say the second week of May to about mid-June. That is our most.
That good
that's
month
the
window.
heaviest.
5 or 6 week span right there.
That's the heaviest moments right there. When they're really in here,
Because Ryan Harrington was wanting to learn how to tarpon fish, so he wanted to book a trip.
Well, give me a call. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you can call the Marina, go on Any Creek, or call me direct, 386-249-5128. And we'll get you out there.
Yep, definitely. That's awesome.
Spearfishing trips are coming.
Don't listen to Billy. He'll get you in trouble.
That's right.
He'll definitely get you in trouble.
Good deal. Captain Marrio, Captain Junior over there on the Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Tactical Table Talk. Billy over here on the spearfishingtarpon.com, fwcfunnyhere.net. Oh, man. Guys, what a magical show, man.
Absolutely great.
What an awesome show.
Yeah. Past 24 hours has been intense and came to a great end.
Best possible outcome.
Yep.
That was too cool. So again, in a situation like that, if it occurs again, how do you help get the information out there? Share. Make sure you have the right equipment. If you plan on being a volunteer in these searches, see if you can find one of the organized search.
One of the groups.
One of the groups, so everyone
Absolutely.
stays organized. Keep track of your patterns.
Yep. Where you've been, where you're headed.
Yep. Where you've been, where you've headed, where you've where you've checked off the list. And like they pointed out earlier too, is make sure, when you are checking an island, make sure you fully check off that island. Don't take shortcuts.
Yep.
Circle
check
it.
360 if possible.
Yep. So, all right. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Another Fish Talk Live. Thanks to our community.
Yep.
2
Thank you all for
16-year-old.
joining us tonight.
That's it. And thanks to Captain Junior Santos for joining us and being our new resident guide out of here at OKM. Captain, what's that? Captain Jacob Emhoff.
The Ozello Fish Coat.
Also known as Jack. Captain Mario Castello, the man. I tell you what, dude. More knowledge than the encyclopedia.
Full.
Captain John McCarthy, the man behind the mic. Miss Brianna Bartell. She's over here not feeling so well and still knocking it out.
Yelling at us every 20 seconds.
That's it. Thanks to all of our sponsors, you guys, and our community. We will not see you next Tuesday because Mario has his. Do you have a guest yet?
I do have a guest yet. It's going to be Captain. I don't have my mic. It's Captain Vincent Sabatella.
Ooh,
he's going to be talking fishing Crystal River, Yankeetown, near shore, inshore, all kind of good stuff.
Love it.
Cedar River, 7 o'clock.
Yep.
We'll see you there. All right, guys. We will not see you next Tuesday unless you're at Captain Marrio's Fish Talk Summer.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.